a gauntlet has been thrown down for me by SW Susan, one and only. So if you follow Miss Susan on Instagram, she has thrown down a gauntlet for me. She has challenged me to make and improve a Indian chickpea dal loaf. So that's what I'm going to do, because I like a challenge. So what I'm going to do, I've noticed that what people have been putting in is like dried rice. You know, you make up a packet of dried rice, and this is sin-free, this version. Some of them aren't. This is mazadar, and that is sin-free if you are counting sins, okay? And what they do is they use curry powder and a tin of that, and a packet of like bachelor's savoury curry rice, that thing, and some eggs, and you make up, you just you cook the rice and you beat the eggs in with the dal, and then you basically put it in a loaf tin and you bake it. So I'm going to have a go, but I'm going to do it slightly different, of course, because it wouldn't be a challenge otherwise, would it, if I just did it the same as everybody else. So I'm currently blackening a red pepper. I'm not doing a green one not because of any reason other than I don't like green pepper. It's bitter, it's horrible, and I don't know why. Oh, I don't know how people eat it, but if you like green pepper, you do a green pepper. You feel free to do whatever pepper you want. I'm doing red. So, in a pan, I have got some rice boiling. Unfortunately, since we've moved to this house, I love the gas hob, which I've got now. Didn't have that at the old house, had electric. But, electric, you can make lovely, fluffy, dry rice. Because what you do is, I did a tutorial on it, so if you scroll back through, you'll see. And basically, you put it on the heat, and then you turn it down, and then you turn it off. And the heat from the plate keeps your pan and your rice cooking on for however long you need to cook it for, and it comes out beautiful. As long as you leave the lid on, you've got all that steam in there. Since moving here, I've got gas, and you can't do that with gas, which is really annoying, because if you turn it off, there's no heat within the elements of the cooker to continue it cooking. It just goes cold, stone cold, as soon as you turn it off, really. So I'm having to do it how I used to cook it, which is not how I like cooking it, and that is just on a really low heat with a lid a little bit skew-iffy so that the steam can escape, and I do that for 20 minutes. So yeah, it's not ideal, and what I've done is, in that, I boiled up some water, put my water in, only about that much water still, put my rice in, gave it one stir, and I added some turmeric to the water and stirred. When I stirred it in, so the water's gone yellow, so hopefully that will flavour the rice. You need to put a fair bit in to give it a good flavour. So my pepper is coming on. I've cooked quite a lot of rice because I'm doing a curry tonight. We're going to have the Mayflower chicken curry. You can get this in B&M. I expect you all know that, but if you don't, you can get this in B&M. And what it does, it comes in a powder form like that, and you add that however much you want to water, and it mixes up and makes a beautiful curry sauce. So that's going to be for later. This is going to be for lunch tomorrow. With a little bit of salad, probably, for our lunch. So, fingers crossed. I do have an issue, as per usual. When we moved in September, I think I was a bit too overzealous, shall we say, I had 2 loaf tins. You think I can find them? I tried to find them the other day and I couldn't find them. I don't know what I've done with them or where I put them. They're not up there. I'm sure they're not up there. But I couldn't find it, so I'm going to have to use this old tin. Hopefully it's not going to be too big, because I wanted it to be a bit more, do you know what I mean? It's not quite the shape I want. If you're going to do it, I think you need to do it in a loaf tin. It would be a lot better in a loaf tin. And I'm a bit gutted that I haven't got my loaf tin. So I'm going to continue for the minute, just getting this pepper sorted out. If you haven't got a gas, can you see what I'm doing? I'll show you, look. If you haven't got a gas ring, then you can put this in the oven and bake it until it's charred, and then all you do is wipe off the charred black bit. Okay, so that's what I'm doing at the moment, nothing truly exciting, so I shall come back in a minute. So my pepper has now blackened rather, I keep saying brown, sorry, blackened sufficiently, so it looks like that. And then what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to put it in a plastic bag. Just a normal plastic little blue bag. And then I'm just going to rub the bag. It is a bit hot. Need asbestos fingers. So it's probably a good idea to get a tea towel, hold it with the tea towel, and then rub. I would just like to thank Debbie Factor Fabulous. I don't know if you watch her on YouTube, and she's also got an Instagram page, and she does a bit of cooking, she does chatting about sins, about new products that are coming onto the market. She's lovely, a mother, you know, got children and a husband to look after, and yeah, she fits it in with her lifestyle, and she's absolutely lovely, really friendly, really lovely, really positive. So yeah, so if you don't have a look at her, she gave me a shout out last night, bless her, on her YouTube channel, which is really nice. And I think as YouTubers, it's really nice that we can encourage not only other people, but each other as well. And you know, that means by giving each other a shout out so other people get to see, you know, other YouTubers. That's nice, you know, it's nice for all of us, you know. I like coming across new YouTubers. I think it's really lovely. So yeah, if you haven't looked at her yet, have a look at her channel. Right, so I'm just going to pull it off. So as you can see, the majority of that blackened skin has come off, and I'm left with a soft, yummy pepper. Now what that does, it just brings out all the flavours of the pepper, and it softens it, but it makes a bit of a mess of your tea towel. But that can now go in the bin, obviously. It brings, like I said, it brings out all the flavours of that pepper, and it makes it really intense. It makes the taste, you know, the flavours of the pepper intensify, and it's really, really nice. If you haven't done that before, give it a go, and you'll be surprised at how intense that pepper will now taste. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to stick a pan on, and I'm going to use my sunflower 1 cow, and I'm going to cook down a onion until it's nice and soft, and then I'm going to add 3 sliced mushrooms and 1 courgette to the onions. So I'll do that for a little bit and then I'll come back. Right, so while I've been away, I have browned my onions, courgettes and my sliced mushrooms in my frying pan. And what I'm going to do is start to construct some more bits and pieces of this loaf. So I've got myself a bowl, and I'm going to add 2 eggs. Whoop-a-days. into my bowl. And then I'm going to get a fork, I think. And I've opened up my tin of chickpea dal. And I'm going to add that in. And it's got some sauce at the bottom, so be a bit careful when you pull it out. It's quite thick. It's all the chickpea is sat on the top, and then like the curry bit is underneath. Okay, within the can. So I'm going to whisk that in there with the egg. Then to that, I'm going to add some cooked rice. Which is here, and it's yellow because, like I said, I put some turmeric in there, and it makes it look a bit like a pilau rice. So there's our rice. Some of this is for tea tonight, so I don't want all of it going in there. That's probably plenty. And then I'm going to mix that around. And then to that mixture, I'm just going to add a bit of spice to spice it up a bit. So I've got some chilies. Oopie daisy. And I'm just going to sprinkle in some crushed chilies. This is optional. Okay, so there's my crushed chilies. Then I've got some coriander. Going to do a teaspoon of coriander. Got some garam masala. Oh god, there's not a lot in there. A quarter of a teaspoon. I would put more, but I haven't got it. Some cumin. Teaspoon of cumin. What I would say is either write this down, make sure you put these on the side, because if you just chuck those out, you're going to forget which ones you need when you next go shopping. So I'm just going to put mine over there for now, and I'll put that on my shopping list. And I've got some mild tandoori curry, but you could use any curry powder that you wanted. And to that, I'm going to put in 2 good dessert spoons. And I'm going to mix that all in. Like so. Oh, I'm going to need a bit more rice because I don't think it's going to fit in here otherwise. So I'm going to add a bit more rice to this. I wish I had my blooming loaf tin, because this would work so much better with a loaf tin. Right, so I've noticed when I watch other people's that theirs was sticking. So I'm going to line mine. And I know it'll make it a bit of a funny shape, but I'd rather it be a little bit of a funny shape than all stuck to the bottom of the pan, quite frankly. Because as long as it looks a little bit pretty, that's all that matters to me. Right, so What I am going to do now is put this to one side. I've got some boiled eggs. I've got 4 boiled eggs, which I am going to slice up along with slicing up my red pepper. Once I've done that, I'll come back to you. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put half the mixture into my dish. Unfortunately, this is going to make mine a bit of a skinny one rather than a deep one because of my blooming dish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and improvise, and I'm going to try and make my dish smaller by packing it out down one side with foil, like so. Then onto that I am going to add my vegetables. So I've got my courgettes going round, and then I will put my onions and my mushrooms on top of my courgette layer. And I'm just going to push it down slightly. Can you see that? And then I've got my, getting a bit hot now. My mushrooms and my onions, they're going to go on together. Like so. And just give that a little push down. How much that got? I'm going to put another little layer of our rice and dal on top of that. Quite a thin layer. There we go. And then I'm going to put my egg, my boiled egg, and my pepper. Like so. There we go, get the rest of that egg. That's it. And then I've just literally done my pepper into sort of that size slices. And I'm just going to put that down the middle. Like so. Just need a little bit more packing in that corner. That's it. And then I've got a few more courgette left, so waste not, want not. Let's get that in. There we go, give it a bit of a squish down. And then finally, I'm going to pour in the rest of my rice and dal and spices. Right, so I've got high hopes for this little baby. Fingers crossed. Susan, I hope you think I have met your challenge with my version of a Dahl loaf. So, what I now need to do is pop this in the oven. I've got it at 180 and I'm going to cook it in the oven for 20 minutes. If it looks like it's getting too brown, then I will put some foil over the top of it. And I'll come back to you in 20. So my Dahl loaf is still in the oven, but while it's in the oven I'm doing tonight's tea. So I just thought you might like to sort of come along with me while I do that as well. As soon as I'm waiting for the Dahl loaf anyway, you might as well, mightn't you? So I'm doing the Mayflower chicken curry. I'm going to add a few extra things, of course, I always do. And I'm going to do this for tonight's tea for Jason and I. But I'm also doing enough for us to have it on Saturday night because we're going to Taunton. We're going to Taunton once a month to spend time with my mum. And also so Jason can go cycling, see his boys, and he can go cycling with his friend, and we can, you know, do a bit of family stuff. So that's why we go once a month back to Taunton. But I don't like to rock up on my mum's doorstep, you know, with nothing in hand. So I tend to make something and take it with us for our tea on the Saturday night. And, you know, she feeds us for the rest of the time, bless her. But we provide Saturday night's tea. And I must get a bottle of wine out, actually, because it's my turn to take the wine. So, I am just cooking off 4 breasts of chicken, because it's going to stretch, obviously, for 2 meals, 2 lots of meals. My mum doesn't eat an awful lot, to be honest with you, so 4 breasts of chicken between 3 of us. 2 of us tonight and then 3 of us on Saturday will be plenty, because I'm going to pack it out with veggies as well. So once you've got your chicken and it's gone that sort of opaque colour, it's no longer pink, I'm then going to start adding my other bits and pieces into there. And I always cook it in a wok because it's going to be pretty big by the time I've finished. Now, I like my onions, you know, like the when you go to the Chinese and they do their onions really quite big. So I've done my onions the same. I've chopped them up quite big. That's going in. And I've got a whole yellow pepper. And I had a bit of broccoli, so I'm putting a bit of broccoli in there as well. And I have some celery, so I'm going to pop a little bit of celery in. And I had about 4 mushrooms left over, so they're going in as well. Give that a bit of a stir around. And it's all quite chunky, you know, the meat and the vegetables, they're all sort of a similar size. So that's that. So I'm going to cook that down for a little bit. Oh, and I've got some peas. So the top lot's all frozen in a clump, but I'm going to add about that much frozen peas. There we go. I've got a bit of a radio on. Talking about the North Devon Link Road. Thankfully I'm not on it. The weather's been awful today. We had really bad hailstone first thing this morning, which I've just had a shower and washed my hair, and it got me out of walking the dog. Because Jason, bless him, he said, "Oh, walk the dog." So that was quite nice. Thank you, Jace. So yeah, but we've had really, really heavy rain. It's been awful today, on and off, horrible. As soon as you go out, the blooming heavens open. It's horrible. Right, so the next thing to do is to add some fluid. So, I can turn that down a little bit. Come on. That's it, turn it down. And I'm doubling up. So I just need to find the jug, which is here. And I'm just going to pop the kettle on for some hot water because I don't want to put cold water straight into that. I've just taken out the oven the chickpea dal, so I'll show you that. It's been in 20 minutes and there it is, all golden and brown, and it's in a solid form. So I'm going to let that cool down. I'm going to stick it on the windowsill because I want to obviously take it out when it's cooled down a little bit so that it holds better. So I'll just leave it there for a minute. And I have measured out 150 grams of my Mayflower curry. It's not quite doubled what they state on the packet. And I'm just boiling up the kettle to add to the curry. And then literally you whisk it, pour it in, and then you cook it down for a little bit longer until all your veggies are cooked and your chicken's cooked right through. And there you go. You have a Chinese chicken curry. So, just going to add my fluid. I'm nearly doubling this up, so I've got a lot of fluid here. Let's give this a good stir around. I think I'd have been better with a fork. Just going to change this for a fork. So give it a good old stir, and then, so this is more like a Chinese curry rather than an Indian curry, like you get from the Chinese takeaway. It's that more that type of flavour and curry. So I'm going to pour that in. It's a little bit lumpy, but it will cook out. And I think I'm probably going to have to put in a little bit more fluid. I'll see how I go, because I don't want it too watery, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to cook that down for, what do they say on the packet? Well, it just says simmer for 2 minutes, stirring occasionally. So my chicken needs a little bit longer than 2 minutes. So I'm going to cook that down for a good 6 to 8 minutes. And I can add a little water. If it gets too thick, then I will add a little bit of water to it to loosen it off. So that is that. Still waiting for our chickpea Dahl Loaf to cool down, obviously. So what I will do, I'll turn you off now and I will come back when that's cooled down, and I'm taking it out of all the wrapper and everything, and I can show you it properly. Just thought I'd say, to my curry I'm going to add my rice. So that's all going to go in there. And then I don't have to worry on Saturday about cooking rice. we can just have this, as long as it's heated through really, really well because of the rice, we can just have this literally as it is, and I can just heat this up and it'll be really quick and easy come Saturday. So there we go, that's the finished curry. There is masses there, as you can see. But that's the finished curry, and it is really, really lovely. I have got a little bit of tops of my celery, and I'll just garnish it with a little bit of celery tops rather than chuck them away. And there we go. And that is going to go lovely with my curry chutney that I made the other day. So a nice big spoonful of that, lovely. Can't wait for Jess to come home, we can tuck in. So that's that. I'm going to have a little look at my dal loaf, and I will come back to you in a minute. So I hope you can see it's there. It's come out of its paper and it's come out really cleanly, so it is well worth using paper, I think. Rather than being disappointed, you know, it's all stuck to the inside of your tin. It's worth using a bit of paper, and then you don't have to use spray light or anything either. You just pop it straight into your paper, your parchment paper. So it is still a little hot, and I'm not sure that it's going to cut so well as it is hot, but I'd like to get this video finished up, so I am going to cut into it and hopefully it will hold a little bit. Now this is going to make loads and loads and loads, and I think it will freeze down really well as well. I can't see why you couldn't freeze this, and I don't know, I suppose you could cut it in half. I know what my mum would do. My mum, she would cut it in half and then she would double wrap it in foil, and then she would put it in a container and then she would pop it in the freezer. Enough so that, you know, the slice, what she wanted, she would eat at the next time. So probably half of it. So I think that's probably what I will do. I will cut it in half and then freeze half, because there is way too much here. Oh, what do we reckon, Susan? Are you liking that? What do you reckon? Is that a thumbs up? I reckon that's a thumbs up. Right, so you can see all those lovely layers. You've got your mushrooms and your courgette, and then you've got your next dal, and then you've got your egg and your pepper, and there was a couple of courgettes we put on top. So all in all, it's looking really good. I'm really impressed. Turn the other side round, there we go, so you can see it properly. So that's what it looks like. What's it taste like? Wow. Now then, let's have a little bit. I mean, it's not going to cut, no. It is too hot to cut, unfortunately. Once that goes cold, that will cut much better. So I'm going to have to just try these broken bits for you. So if I get a spoon. But it gives me the chance to try everything. So I've got some egg. I've got a little bit of pepper, courgette, mushroom, the dal. That is subtle but flavoursome. Do you know what I mean? It's not rocking my head off, you know. It is just a really subtle curry. Beautiful. With the vegetables, which has still got a bit of a crisp and a bit of a bite to them. They're not sloppy and horrible. Absolutely lovely. Really, really lovely. So impressed with that. I will definitely be making that again. And had Susan, my number one fan, not seen this and challenged me to this, I would never have made this, because I don't think I would have come across it. So I'm really pleased, Susan. Thank you that you've given me this challenge, because it's given me a lovely Slimming World lunch recipe. And you can have it for as an evening meal as well. You don't have to have it as a Slimming World meal. You can have it hot or cold. Take it on a picnic. Do what you want with it. Take it to work. It's delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for talking my mouth full. I know it was a bit of a combined one with the Mayflower curry and this as well, my challenge. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.